What's up, Exiles? I'm Cyclone9, and today is the day we've all been waiting for. The first major content patch release in Path of Exile 2 since the game has been released in early access, Dawn of the Hunt. I'm about to watch the full content reveal video posted on the Path of Exile 2 account for the first time. Let's check out the content reveal patch together. All right, let's get into it.
Hi, I'm Jonathan Rogers, Game Director on Path of Exile 2. Welcome to GGG Live. Well, it's been a little over 3 months since we launched Early Access, so it's about time for our first major content update. Today, we're going to show you an exclusive reveal of Path of Exile 2, Dawn of the Hunt, which launches on April 4th. Twitch drops are enabled on today's livestream, so make sure you follow the instructions below in order to claim your Executioner's Guillotine finisher effect.
That is dope. I was at work and couldn't catch the live stream. I wonder if the Twitch drops are still enabled. I'm going to check it out after I do this video and see if I can get my hands on that finisher. That's really cool.
Now in today's stream, we're going to take you on a deep dive into the new Dawn of the Hunt update. We'll cover a new class, 5 new Ascendancy classes,
5 new Ascendancy classes along with a brand new class altogether. Awesome.
huge expansions on character systems like unique items and support gems. After that, it's on to the endgame improvements, including changes to systems, a bunch of new encounters, and lots of other content. We're going to finish up today with a live Q&A session where Ziggy D will ask Path of Exile 2's game directors, myself and Mark, your questions from Twitch chat. Now we have a lot to cover today, so let's get started with a trailer for Path of Exile 2, Dawn of the Hunt.
Hype.
We as Mary are guided by the Spirit. It provides prey, shelter, even love. But for me, one day, all that were changed. The Spirit, it showed me something. Something forbidden. And to defend all I loved,
Ooh, there's
I
the
used it.
electric Javazon.
I
Lightning
lost
Javazon.
everything that day. But fate weren't finished with me yet. I'll right the wrongs I've done. I'll do what I must. No
Get him.
matter the cost. I will hear the Spirit once more.
Ooh. Very agile. Look at that agility. What is that about? Whoa, 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 whoa. Hold on. Are we finally getting a mount for the Huntress? Holy cow. And what was that finishing move after the corpse was on the ground? What is that about? Very curious. $25 new skills. Holy cow. As Mararian Wisps. I don't know what that means. Rogue Exiles. Cool, that's a port from Path of Exile 1. For those of you that are new to the game franchise. And essentially it's like fighting another character with a full gear setup. It's like fighting another exile, but he's a rogue exile, and you find him randomly in your maps.
I shall bathe in your blood.
100+ new support gems. Thank the Lord. So this is going to enable so many archetypes that didn't have enough support gems for them. Namely, what I want to start, which my league starter is going to be Witch with Essence Drain Contagion. I want more support gems for that archetype, and I'm pretty certain we're getting them here. Wait, 100+ new uniques, new ascension classes, new endgame mechanics, baby. New maps, thank the Lord. Oh my god. That video was fire. The videos have come a long way. That teaser just was out of control. So much new content. I am incredibly stoked. April 4th, baby. 12 p.m.
Now, as you can see, in Dawn of the Hunt, we're introducing the first new class since early access to POE2, the Huntress. The Huntress is a spear-wielding Asmeri warrior. Born into a society with strict traditions, she was exiled from her homeland after using the power of a skill gem to defend her village. As a dexterous spear user, she specializes in both melee and ranged combat, dashing into and out of battle. Spears have extended range and a short dash, but unlike other melee weapons, you can also throw them.
Ooh.
In order to make a hybrid ranged and melee character work, we had to do a lot of thinking about ways to make it fun to both enter and exit melee range. The first skill you will get as a Huntress is Whirling Slash. As well as striking in a circle around you, this skill creates a whirlwind that blinds your enemies. Leaving the whirlwind will make it explode. The more Whirling Slash is used, the bigger the whirlwind, and the bigger the explosion. Once you're out of there, you'll want to follow up with something rain.
That looks like a ice bomb, but with the blind effect, so it's also defensive. Holy cow, it looks good.
Ranged. Whip your spear around to shoot twisters towards your foes. These twisters bounce off walls and can hit enemies multiple times.
Wow.
You can also throw twisters inside a whirlwind to shoot out extra tornadoes that do way more damage.
What the crap?
In her offhand, the Huntress will usually want to
I'm already rethinking my league starter. This looks amazing so far.
hold a buckler, which allows you to do a new skill, parry. While holding down parry, your character will counterattack any incoming attack from monsters near you, stunning them. In addition, the monsters will take extra attack damage from your follow-up strike. Some specific skills are designed to be used after a parry and have extra effects. Disengage is a skill that does a quick jump back, damaging enemies in front of you, and it can be used to interrupt other actions, like dodge roll. If you use it against a parried enemy, though, it causes an explosion and gives you a frenzy charge.
Dude, this combat looks so fun. Dude, the parry mechanic and how it changes skills, it looks amazing. Dashing in and out of combat, it looks super engaging and really fun. I just wonder if it's going to be competitive with, there's going to be a lot of balance, I'm sure of that, but is it going to be competitive with the one button build that just like destroys anything? I mean, this combat looks way more engaging to me, so I think it'd be more fun to play regardless. We'll see.
Just be careful. If you parry too much, you're going to get stunned and possibly killed. You can combine this combo with Whirling Slash. Slash, parry, disengage, and you'll get an explosion on the disengage and the Whirling Slash. The Huntress also has a variety of elemental spear throw attacks. You could use Lightning Spear to bounce lightning between your foes. Or you could throw explosive spears into the ground. These spears take a while to detonate, but when they do, they'll incinerate anyone caught in the blast.
Wow. Very
Spear throws on the Huntress can also be empowered by frenzy charges. For example, explosive spears will do an even larger explosion and leave fire on the ground. And these empowered versions can activate even more combos. Using Whirling Slash over ground fire will suck it into the whirlwind, adding fire to the explosion. Using twisters inside a fire whirlwind will shit out fire tornadoes as well.
Every single skill interacts with the other skills. So, wow. I mean, I feel like the other classes are going to need to have an update to compete with this in terms of skill interactions and how they affect each other. It's just really cool. I'd love if every class was like this and it was the standard of gameplay.
And you can do similar combos with ice and lightning too. Now, a key aspect of hunting is exhausting your foes by causing blood loss. This skill is Rake, which dashes towards your target and unleashes a deadly slash, opening up wounds on your enemies. Follow up with disengage and watch them bleed out as they run towards you. On the health bar of monsters, you can see how much blood loss the enemy has experienced, and the Huntress has skills to take advantage of this. For example, using Blood Hunt will thrust forward and cause a bloody explosion. The more blood loss, the bigger the explosion. If you want to cause bigger bleeds, try out Rapid Assault. The final hit of this multi-hit combo will stick a spear into your enemy for a big bleed. Now, Explosive Spear and Rapid Assault both result in leaving spears behind, either in the ground or in enemies. But there are other skills that leave spears around too, like Storm Lance, that leaves an electrical spear that arcs towards enemies. But what can you do with all these spears? Detonate them, of course. Thunderous Leap will allow you to jump onto and explode any spears either in the ground or in your enemies.
Wow, so dope.
Now, as well as hunting animals, the Huntress also has the ability to work with them. While fighting any beast, you have the ability to tame it and use it as a companion.
What?
You can only have one companion at a time, but it will keep the mods that were on it.
Holy.
Try to find a rare beast with good mods to take full
Oh my gosh. You can have rare monster companions.
advantage of your ability to tame them.
So cool.
Now, this is just the beginning of the Huntress. We've really tried to make the hybrid ranged and melee gameplay work for this class by having a huge amount of synergy between ranged and melee options. There are 22 new skills available for the Huntress. By endgame, you'll be slinging hundreds of insanely powerful spears, sending forth spirit animals and summoning the might of Solaris from the sky. But we still haven't talked about Ascendancy classes yet.
Wow.
What can the Huntress ascend into? Well, the first Ascension class you could choose is the Ritualist. The Ritualist has embraced the darker side of his merry traditions by harnessing the power of animal sacrifice and play. The Corrupted Life Force skill causes all enemies around you to grow volatile blood boils on their skin. When those enemies are slain, the boils will burst, spreading corrupted blood to all enemies around. The Ritualist also excels in taking advantage of magical trinkets. The Unfurled Finger skill allows you to equip an additional ring.
Holy cow. Okay. That seems broken. Yep. It's been a while since I've been playing Path of Exile 2. What's the belt again? The belt that gives the plus to all the ring slots. That's going to get a heavy nerf. There's no doubt about it. Because this would be completely broken with that belt. God. Chime in the comments. Just a brain fart. What's the belt name?
On a finger around your neck. Taking Mystic Attunement increases the bonuses of all the rings and amulets you have equipped. Now, this is one of my favorites. As the Whispers Ask grants you a new skill, Ritual Sacrifice. Use the skill on the corpses of slain rare monsters to absorb the power in their blood, to give you one of their modifiers for a short time.
Wow, that's what he was doing in the trailer. Absorbing one of the modifiers of an enemy you kill. That's crazy.
Specialize further into Ritualistic Sacrifice with As the Whispers Demand, which allows you to perform that skill on yourself instead of a corpse. Cut your own hand, sacrificing some of your own blood to empower yourself.
Huh.
The Amazon Ascension is for those looking to hunt more than just beasts. Trained as an elite guard to the most important Asmeri elders, the Amazon will use more traditional fighting techniques mastered to perfection. The Predatory Instinct skill will cause you to reveal weaknesses in the defenses of rare and unique enemies, causing you to deal more damage. You can see those weak spots represented on their life bars. While using Elemental Infusion, any charges you consume will infuse your weapon with elemental power, causing any projectile attacks to explode on impact. The Critical Strike skill is as simple as it sounds. It takes your excess accuracy and gives it to you as critical strike chance.
Ooh, accuracy no longer, not your favorite stat to see on something. Converted to crit chance? Yeah, that sounds cool.
Additionally, you have skills like Mystic Harvest, which allows your elemental damage to leech life, and as Mary Brew to be able to use either flask to restore both life and mana.
Holy.
So those are the two new Ascendancies for the Huntress. But those are not the only Ascendancies in Dawn of the Hunt. We've added a new Ascension class for 3 of the other existing classes too.
Let's hear it.
First up, for our warriors out there, we have the Smith of Katava.
Smith of Katava.
The warrior is a blacksmith in origin, taught by his father Renly. With this ascension, you can take your smithing skills to new heights by embracing power from the insatiable one himself, Kitava. Smiths of Catava are master blacksmiths and have the ability to forge their weapon, quite literally. Using the Against the Anvil notable skill, you can enhance your weapon with fiery destruction before any battle. After doing so, your attacks will release explosions on hit for maximum devastation. You can also use the power of Kitava to summon an animated copy of your weapon to fight alongside you.
Nice.
A great blacksmith can do more than just forging their weapon, though. Their armor can be enhanced too. Now, you might think this Ascendancy class tree looks a little abnormal, and you're right. There's a lot of notable skills all disconnected at the bottom there.
What is this?
By taking this point here, which is free to assign, your character is unable to equip body armors with mods of any kind. So your body armor must be normal. Sounds like a downside, right? Except now in true blacksmith fashion, you get to craft your own body armor by taking those disconnected notables with your points. If you want your body armor to grant life, take this notable. If you want resistances, take this one. There's so many choices. Think of it like you're crafting your own body armor, just in a more literal sense.
Cool.
Now, let's move on to those who prefer the reassuring feel of a crossbow in their hands, the mercenary. Alongside the existing Ascension classes, the Gemling Legionnaire and the Witch Hunter, you can now play as the Tactician. The Tactician is a former Blackguard elite. Free from the duties of a Blackguard, he is able to use his training to decimate the monsters of Rayclast and earn a healthy income doing so.
Does he get
This training
companions?
comes in the form of various skills like Suppressing Fire, which causes all projectiles to pin enemies. When combined with the Right Where We Want Them notable, your pin not only stops your enemies from moving, but stops them from performing actions too, similar to freeze.
Very
With a
defensive.
soldier's training, the Tactician
There it is. Oh no, they're just party play? Does he get a companion?
also works well cooperatively. Using the Whoever Pays Best notable, you can place multiple banners at once. The Watch How We Do It skill gives a portion of your weapon's damage to your allies as well. But if that
Okay, so he's good for party play. Doesn't look like he's getting a companion. We'll see.
isn't enough, you can also command your army of off-screen archers to unleash hell and carpet an entire area with arrows. Finally, witch players will be able to join their legions by becoming undead themselves.
Yes.
In Dawn of the Hunt, we're introducing the Lich Ascension class.
Yes.
The Lich is a master of
Here it is, baby. Essence Drain Contagion. This is what I'm running. It's likely. Let's see.
chaos and curses and could sacrifice her life to enhance her energy shield. The
Woo.
Crystalline Phylactery skill allows you to nominate a jewel in which to contain part of your soul, massively increasing its power. There's just one downside to splitting your soul this way, though. If you have no energy shield, your mana costs will shoot up. The Necromantic Conduit skill causes you and allies in your presence to have unholy might, granting extra damage as chaos damage.
I'm not trying to run minions, so we'll see.
Rupture the Soul makes enemies you curse explode with chaos damage when slain. Dominion over Flesh allows you to apply an additional curse. It's safe to say you'll be the true
How does Hex Blast interact with multiple curses? Does it still the same amount of damage and it removes one of them, or what's the interaction there? Anyone know? Because I'm likely going to be planning some sort of Hex Blast demon form variation. We'll see.
Master of the Occult by choosing the Lich class. So Dawn of the Hunt has the Huntress and 5 new Ascension classes, but it doesn't end there. Let's take a look at some of the new skills we've added. Now, you may remember we've previously talked about the Raised Spectre skill. It's finally complete, and it will be made available in the upcoming expansion. It can be found in the Occult skills on the Skill Gem crafting panel. Raised Spectre is a skill that allows you to trap the soul of any monster in the game, which you can then summon in the skill panel. Spectres cost spirit and will revive automatically if they die, but the spirit cost varies based on the power of the monster. You could summon an army of weaker monsters, or a few of the more powerful monsters. You can
Very, very cool. I just talked about not using minions. Well, it definitely interests me.
combine them with your existing skeleton minions, or summon exclusively specters. It's all up to you and how you want to customize your army of the undead. Given that there are hundreds upon hundreds of monster variants in Path of Exile 2, it's safe to say you'll be experimenting with this one for a while. We look forward to seeing which monsters serve you best.
Yeah, I'm gonna let the Galaxy Brain minion players deduce what are the best minions for Spectres, and then maybe check it out after some of the information's been uncovered. We'll see. Looks really, really cool, though.
Now let's move on to our next skill. Since we've been talking about summoning undead so much, let's have a change of pace and summon something a little more alive. In Dawn of the Hunt, we're adding the Summon Rower skill.
Summon Roa mount.
Summon your friendly rower to aid you in combat as a minion. You can also mount your rower in combat at any time, allowing you to move at full speed, even while shooting arrows or throwing spears.
Woo!
Be wary though, if you take too much damage while riding your mount, you can be knocked off and you get overwhelmed.
Oh my gosh. That seems mandatory. I mean, move speed is the best stat in the game. And now you can move at full speed while mounted. That's so interesting. I mean, to me, this changes my whole perspective because, like, the main reason I'm playing Demon Form is because of the fast dash and the faster movement around the map. With this, it kind of opens up that movement potential to any class, I guess, based upon the attribute requirements. While casting, anyway. I guess it opens up different move speed options for sure. Super interesting.
It's worth keeping an eye on your stagger bar, as falling off the mount can mean almost certain death. On the topic of new ways to enhance your character, let's talk about support gems. Support gems are used to modify your skill gems in meaningful and interesting ways. Currently, we feel that a lot of builds have insufficient options here.
That's
To
true.
alleviate this, we're adding over 100 new support gems.
Oh my god.
Healer
many
crystals will enable
What is this?
a new kind of bleed build, turning the damage over time you would have done into explosive Vile crystals.
What?
Alignment is a support gem for bow attacks, which can reward skilled players with good positional skills. Caltrops will allow you to litter the battlefield with hazards, slowing your foes as you fling spears through their ranks. But there's plenty more for every playstyle, such as Enormity, Unsteady Tempo, Profanity, Retaliate, Syzygy. Yep, that's a real word. And many
Dude, I'm gonna have to do a deep dive on all this stuff soon.
more. Now, we've talked about a new class, new Ascendancy classes, new skills, and new support gems. But let's not forget about the core of a true action RPG, the items. To start with, let's talk about uniques. We're
Let's
adding
go.
over 100 new unique items.
Yeah, bring it.
This
Let's
time,
see some
make
good
sure
stuff.
to add uniques with a focus on mid and endgame tiers to make sure there are more exciting items to find for higher level characters.
Cool.
Let's look at some examples. Embrace your inner devil with Chernobog's Pillar. It grants you a large amount of fire damage based on your block chance. The Coming Calamity allows you to become a true master of the elements, granting you all 3 elemental herald skills without costing any spirit.
Holy cow. You get all 3 heralds without the spirit reservation? That's insane, even with the for sure coming balances in regards to the herald interactions. That's wild. And enemies in your presence have no elemental resist. Level 84, huh? Holy, what is that?
Same time, it penalizes enemy resistances. Wastegate is a belt useful for builds using a single resource like Blood Magic or Archmage's builds.
Huh.
With this belt, you can use 2 life flasks or 2 mana flasks. It's up to you.
Cool.
Now, we could go through these all day, but we'll leave most of them for you to discover. Suffice to say, though, we want there to be way more cool things to find. Over time, our goal is to add a unique to every single base item type at a minimum, so that you can chance any base in the game.
The
Now,
characters look
given
amazing.
that we have the Huntress, we have a set of unique spears from early game all the way through to end game as well. One example is Scyther's Spear, which combines bleed and fire in a powerful way. It allows your ignites to be aggravated, dealing substantially more damage. We're also introducing a suite of unique bucklers with some interesting parry mechanics. Calgyra's Arc, for example, allows you to parry projectiles from any distance. And we're also adding our first unique charms. Bayra's Angle.
Ooh, unique charm.
Which will not only protect you from ignite, but will also emit a devastating fire nova whenever you do get ignited.
Wow.
In sum, there's just a ton of new uniques
An offensive charm. I like offensive / defensive.
to find. We can't wait to see the weird and broken builds that come out of it. Now, we also want to talk about crafting options.
Come on, baby. Come on. So excited for this. Give me more crafting. Give me more deterministic crafting of some variety. Here we go, baby. Let's see what they got.
Major update during early access will be continuing to add and improve the options here. We have various new crafting tools that have been added as rewards to many of the different types of new content that we're adding. But for now, I just want to mention the changes to runes. Runes add commonly available mods, but since they only have one tier, flat damage mods tend to get outclassed by Endgame. So we've changed runes to have multiple tiers, allowing you to get higher tier mods than before.
Ooh, I like
Our plan is to significantly expand the number of more specialized mods for crafting using socket balls as we add new content over time. And the first new set of those comes from what we're talking about next.
So they're not bringing back the crafting bench. They're expanding runes and giving them tiers. I think it's really cool. I'm excited about that. I want to see what they're cooking on that. Looks good.
In Dawn of the Hunt, we're adding Asmerian wisps, which can be found throughout both the campaign and the endgame. The Asmeri spirit has made itself present in Rayclast, and it appears to be trying to warn, or maybe prepare us for the coming darkness. You will first encounter a manifestation of it in the Grellwood in Act 1, where you'll meet Delwyn, an Asmeri hunter who is trying to find out what exactly is causing the spirit to behave this way. As you approach the wisp, it will flee, leading you past monsters. Any monsters it comes into contact with are infused by it, making them more powerful. Each spirit is associated with a specific revered animal within Asmeri culture. This one is a wisp of the Great Bear, and grants enemies extra life and stun. The wisp moves faster the closer you are, and as you move away, they slow down to wait for you. But if you get too far away for too long, they'll dissipate and return to the woods.
Wow. Kind of interesting new mechanic there. I like it. Let's see what else it does for us.
As you continue to chase the wisp, it will find and possess a rare or unique monster, granting it a new powerful ability.
Yeah, so it's like the spirits and the spirits.
Because this was a wisp of the Great Bear, this monster now also has increased life and stun. But on top of that, it will periodically summon a large spectral bear that slams with wild fury. If you're able to defeat this foe, you will be rewarded. For each monster that was infused and killed along the way, the rewards will be increased. Each wisp has its own mechanics. The wisp of the Winter Owl is a primal wisp that causes enemies to deal extra cold damage, gain energy shield, and release wind force.
So yeah, it's like the spirits in Path of Exile 1. What are they called exactly? Chime down in the comments. But it's kind of reimagined. I like this iteration of it. It looks really neat. Allows you kind of more control. Your distance from it controls the speed at which it moves. I like that, and that there's different types of wisps. Really interesting. I like it.
Forces on death. When infusing a monster, they will call down large tornadoes to protect their host. The Wisp of the Wild Cat is a vivid wisp that causes affected monsters to deal more critical strikes and become more evasive.
Ooh.
When it infuses a monster, it will summon a barrage of feline spirits that will attempt to tear you limb from limb.
Damn.
If you're lucky, you may even find sacred wisps that can do some pretty crazy things to the monsters they influence. Like the Wisp of the Cunning Fox, which turns normal monsters into magics, magic monsters into rares,
Oh my
and rare
God.
monsters into actual bosses.
What? That is so cool. I love
Asmerian
that.
wisps can drop a new set of socketable items that allow you to craft a wide range of interesting new mods onto your items.
Whoa.
Each one may only be used on a specific item slot. As
Wow.
mentioned, the Asmerian wisps can be encountered throughout the game, but there's also a new endgame map called the Asmeri Ranges, a mountain village where the Asmeri once lived, now overrun with corrupt monsters. This map always has multiple Asmerian wisps in it, and familiar, yet not quite the same boss fight.
Cool.
Asmerian wisps can also be further modified by the endgame atlas tree as well,
Yes.
and by tablets.
Yes.
But I'm not going to be the one talking about those things. In order to cover all the new content in endgame, I'm going to hand things over to Mark.
Hi, I'm Mark Roberts, Game Director on Path of Exile 2.
What up, Mark?
There's a ton to talk about with the endgame today, so let's dig right in.
Let's hear
Path of
about the
Exile
end
2
game, baby. Let's hear about it, Mark.
Whose early access began with a brand new endgame, and it was clear that it needed a lot of work.
True.
After absorbing your feedback, we're ready to make some epic changes.
Yes.
The first thing is, we just need a lot more content. In Dawn
More
of the Hunt,
content
we have made
and towers rework. Something.
Make sure to focus on increasing the sheer number of interesting and different encounters you will randomly stumble into as you explore the endgame. And the second goal is to smoothen the progression through maps and reduce the amount of annoying busy work.
Yes.
To start with,
tower
let's
setup.
talk about the new interesting stuff to find. Well, the most obvious thing to add are new maps. As well as the Asmeri ranges that Jonathan mentioned earlier, Dawn of the Hunt also contains 7 other new maps, all with their own custom encounters.
All with custom encounters and good layouts? Please?
Let's start with this one. The Feral Megaliths map starts off in the wild Ezomite forests. As you progress through the forest, you will find mysterious rune-carved stones that, when touched, surge with energy. After activating all the stones, you can find a grand henge, where all the energy is coalescing. You can then start an encounter. The area darkens, a storm moves in, and a concentration of energy summons a dangerous boss. You must fight and defeat the boss to get its rewards. Once you have defeated it, summon another. And another. And another. And another.
And
You have 10 total waves of boss fights which get incrementally more difficult. If you manage to defeat them, you get full boss rewards, but also opportunities to get new runes.
Wow. Okay. Lots of boss fighting. 10 rounds of boss fighting. Let's see if these runes are all about.
Can only be obtained from this map. The Fractured Lake contains a surreal waterscape with fractured mirror-like objects. As you move around the map, the terrain itself elevates from below, creating the ground you walk on. In this unique map, all the rare monsters are mirrored, so you're always fighting 2 of the same rare at the same time, which can prove quite difficult. If you manage to overcome that challenge and make it to the end of the map, you'll be presented with a broken mirror, a powerful altar-like object that contains an item within it. The item contained within is a new base type, either an amulet or a ring, that can be crafted to have additional prefixes or suffixes at the cost of the other. The last
Holy, that's crazy.
unique map we'll show today is one based around the essence mechanic. You enter a crystalline cavern, and you will find a powerful map boss imprisoned in the center. It is surrounded by many rare monsters, also imprisoned in essences. By freeing and defeating the rare monsters, the essence they held will be upgraded to a greater essence, and be added to the imprisoned map boss.
There we go. More access to crafting materials for sure. Crafting orbs, more greater essences, more access.
How brave are you? How many essences will you add to the boss? Overdo it, and you might lose everything. Underdo it, and you might regret it. It's your choice.
Rip.
Speaking of essences, alongside visual improvements, you're now able to apply Varlogs to corrupt the essences, with a range of unpredictable outcomes.
I love that.
It could increase the number of essences, reroll all the essences to the same type, or even upgrade the essences to greater essences.
What I'm talking about.
What if they're already greater essences? Well, it can upgrade those too.
Ooh, a new essence tier. Woohoo!
We have 4 new corrupted essences. Essence of Hysteria, Delirium, Horror, and Insanity.
Okay.
Each corrupted essence has its own interesting combat mechanics. For example, the essence of Insanity causes you to question even your own mind, as monsters split into shadowy clones, and you must locate the real one before a devastating icy explosion freezes everything around.
Are we still saying exiles?
Each of these has their own crafting outcomes. The essence of Insanity can be applied to a belt. It adds a mod that will ensure the next Varlorb used on the belt will guarantee adding 2 enchantments.
Huh. Wow.
It's worth noting all the essences in the unique map can also be corrupted too, if you're willing to risk it. It's worth noting we have also added 10 extra Atlas passive points you can earn by completing 5 different unique maps.
Cool.
Now, new maps are just the beginning. We had a goal where we wanted to make sure you were constantly finding exciting new content, and that it could be lurking around any corner. So, we have added a bunch of new things that you could stumble into in any map you run. On your travels, you will sometimes encounter rogue exiles. Others like you who have been exiled and are openly hostile. Some are malicious, some are mad, while others are simply fiends for loot. They will challenge you, a fight to the death. They use the same skills available to players, and even the same items. They aren't just dressed up in those items, they're actually using them.
Yep.
It's going to feel like a true player versus player situation.
Does it drop the whole item set?
Of course,
When you
if
kill
you
them?
are able to slay these exiles, those items will all drop on the ground.
That's what's up.
So if you encounter an exile using a powerful or valuable unique item, which you can see displayed under their life bar, you want to be damn sure you kill them. Because if they kill you and your party, they'll portal out, taking their items with them. Every fight will feel completely different depending on the items they come equipped with.
I love
These
this.
exiles are much smarter than your regular monster. They have capabilities to dodge roll, avoid your abilities with smart pathfinding, smart targeting, and much more action-packed gameplay.
Love it.
Fortunately, they're like you, and they're not super durable. Unless, of course, they're wearing uniques like Helm's Heart, in which case, expect a longer battle.
Yeah.
There are 12 different rogue exiles you can find, each with their own skills and personalities.
Love
Some
it.
may insult you, while others may admire your honor in combat.
Another encounter you might stumble onto in Dawn of the Hunt are one of 4 new unique strongboxes.
Strongboxes are chests with modifiers. When you try
Finally,
to open them, they activate traps and
our strongbox is good. Let's find out.
spawn waves of monsters that you must defeat to access the loot. Let's take a look at 2 of the new unique boxes that are harder to find and behave just a little bit differently. The Ogham's Legacy Strongbox has a corpse splayed out in front of the rune-carved stone. Upon interacting with the stone, you activate Forbidden Ezomite magic, which revives the monster as a powerful rare. The Strongbox comes with a modifier which determines how many times it will revive that rare. Each time you defeat the monstrosity, the Strongbox revives it again, adding an extra modifier to the monster. With each resurrection, it becomes more difficult, but also more rewarding. This
Kinda cool.
Strongbox is infused with thaumaturgy from ancient file technology. Eshel's Torment has a powerful artifact inside, and is guarded by chaos itself. Defeating the monsters will grant you a unique item, with a specific corrupted outcome. You'll have to find the other 2 for yourself to see what they do.
No spoilers. Okay. I was hoping we could craft on strong boxes. That would be sweet. Valorb them. And maybe like faster spawn of the enemies within it. Something like that. These are cool though. I really like them.
Now, let's talk about the introduction to the endgame. On starting the endgame, Doriani tasks you with cleansing corruption to help restore the land. However, in practice, the quest objective just sent you on a grind to clear 15 maps. We wanted to make the quest to unlock your Atlas passives much more interesting.
Do it.
Now, Doriani is tasking you with a more specific objective. On the Atlas, you will find areas of corruption caused by the beast.
Mm-hmm.
In the center of each one, you will find a corrupted nexus, the source of the affliction. In the areas leading up to the nexus, you will notice that corruption spills out from slain enemies and amalgamates into powerful monsters. Corrupted maps existed on the Atlas before, but we've done significant work on improving these monsters. We've also done a full pass on the modifiers on these maps to make them more interesting and more rewarding. Once you reach the nexus, you will have a new task: cleanse the source of corruption. When you defeat the last rare in those maps, they will spawn one of 3 terrifying bosses, amalgamations of corruption itself. After defeating that boss, Doriani will come and cleanse the corruption for good. As the remains of the boss are purged of corruption, it coalesces into raw crystallized power, which you can use to gain points for your Atlas passive skill tree, the upgrade system that allows you to add and enhance content in your maps. We didn't stop there though. When you complete a corrupted nexus,
Sounds like we're still rare hunting in a lot of the normal maps.
all of the remaining surrounding corrupted maps will become cleansed maps. Cleansed maps also have new monsters, a new boss,
Ooh, so many more boss opportunities. I like this.
and their own set of modifiers and rewards,
Nice.
including finding fracturing orbs by slaying cleansed enemies.
Fracturing orb.
These
This is going to give us control over what type of maps we're fighting. Come on, give it to us.
orbs can be used in crafting on a rare item to cause one of its modifiers to become...
Oh, that makes sense. It makes a fractured item. Insanely powerful. Holy cow, look at the item we just made. Ooh. That means when you're crafting on it, that modifier cannot be changed.
fractured. A fractured modifier is one that cannot be modified by any means. You are able to freely modify the item, ensuring the fractured modifier will never change. If you get the right item with the right mod, it can prove to be a very powerful crafting base indeed.
Nice.
You must now choose. Do you complete all the corrupted maps and then the Nexus? Or maybe you beeline to the Nexus, complete it, and do all the remaining maps cleansed. Both have rewards to entice you and challenges to assess.
I would like some fracturing
Now,
orbs, please.
Let's have a talk about towers.
Yes, let's have a talk about towers, Mark, please.
One thing we've had a lot of feedback on is the busy work around running towers and managing your tablets. The first change we've made here is that
I love this. It looks like you can put 3 tablets in, so basically for setup of a certain region, you just have to do 1 tower, pop 3 of your tablets in, and then run the maps around it. Instead of find an area with 3 towers, run to every single tower, pop in a tablet
We've
individually.
reduced the number of towers drastically.
Yes.
So there are now 1/3 as many as before.
This works.
But we've made them much more powerful.
This works.
To start with, tablets now inherently add twice as many mechanics. But that's not all. Running higher tier maps and towers now increases the number of mechanics applied by tablets.
Wow.
By tier 15, the bonus is double, allowing a single tablet to now add 4 times as many mechanics as before.
Okay.
So, we're running...
That's a lot less setup, man. Run 1 tower, put in a tablet that adds a ton of mechanics. And what are those 2 other spots about?
Far fewer towers, dealing with fewer tablets, and affecting even more maps than before. But because there are fewer towers overlapping with each other, you won't get as many opportunities to stack different tablets. In order to solve this, we've made it so that each tower can consume up to 3 tablets at once. You always get 1 slot on completing the tower, but if you can complete a tower with more mods on the waystone, you can unlock a 2nd or 3rd slot.
Ah, you have to run an upgraded waystone. This is good, man. These are good solutions to the problems we've been talking about. I like this a lot.
Overall, this allows for even more juicing from towers,
So
while
cool.
drastically reducing the amount of busy work you have to do.
Yeah.
On top of that, towers are much more interesting maps because they can now spawn with all mechanics, including
Hell
bosses.
yeah.
Each
Preach,
tower
Brother
map has
Mark.
a new boss.
Preach, Brother Mark. Oh my goodness. Thank you.
Let's take a look at a couple here. The boss fight of the Alpine Ridge map has 2 powerful witches contesting for territory. One witch has an affinity for ice, the other fire. Who will win? Hopefully neither. The boss of the
Nice.
Sinking Spire map is a remnant of the Val that has been charged with lightning.
That guy looks
It
familiar.
uses a full suite of lightning abilities. But be careful.
It's the lightning version of the fire boss in Jaquiem's Sanctum.
If any of them hit the surrounding constructs, they will power up. Another thing that we've seen a lot of feedback about is sustaining waystones. As we looked into it, we realized that the people who couldn't sustain waystones were dying a lot.
They were
A
dying.
lot more than we had expected. And that made us realize something. During the campaign, the expectation is that you can die multiple times in order to learn how to overcome challenges.
Are we getting more portals for our normal waystones? I'm on the fence about this one, guys. I kind of like the 1 chance. I mean, it gives you some reason to build defenses. Let's see what they do. Let's see what they've been cooking.
You are able to learn how the monsters behave, adapt to their skills, and eventually overcome them. But as soon as you get to the endgame, you are effectively no longer allowed to die if you want to sustain waystones. By the time you are getting towards the end of endgame, we want you to have to be careful not to die. But it certainly shouldn't be...
All right, I'm going to take a stab in the dark here. The lower the tier waystone, the higher, or the more portals, maybe. Maybe? No, that wouldn't be a good solution. They're going to come up with something else.
That we have such a sudden shift as you run your first maps. The first change we're making is you can now respawn and return to a map if you die. Continuing from where you left off.
Okay.
When you start the endgame, you get up to 6 total attempts per map.
Maybe it was what I was saying.
As you add more modifiers to a waystone, the number of respawns goes down.
Got it. So it's the number of modifiers on the waystone. So if you want to run, damn, high risk, high reward, right? Cool. I think it's very interesting. I like it.
This means that as you get to the point that you're running every waystone as a rare, you will have to be more careful.
That makes sense for the early game players that are running glass cannons or just builds that die often. And just want to complete the the quests to get their Atlas tree passive skill points. They can just not run them as rares and have more opportunity to do that. I'm not totally in love with the solution or change, but I think I'm willing to test it out, see how I like it. Seems like it serves some good purpose and answers some questions.
In parties, everyone gets to respawn that number of times. But we say
Wait, what
that
was
number
that?
of time. In parties, everyone gets to respawn that number of times.
So we all get 3 portals?
But we still think it's important that you can kill a boss in one go. In order to allow that to happen, we've made a change so that once you start the boss fight, it changes over to the same respawning system we use for pinnacle bosses. This means that the map owner can choose to respawn everyone at the same time.
Got it.
Another complaint we've seen a lot of is players not wanting to do the pinnacle content because of the experience penalty from dying.
All right, they're going to have tiered fragments to access pinnacle content.
A change we've made here is that all pinnacle content now no longer grants experience, but also no longer removes experience on death either.
Okay.
Dawn of the Hunt also brings the first batch of Twilight Order reliquary keys from the early access supporter packs. These keys contain items selected by our supporters. They can contain any unique item found in Path of Exile 2. If the selected item is a pinnacle boss drop, then only special keys dropped by this content will be able to provide these items. For example, Hand of Wisdom in action can only come from a key dropped by Zesht. We're also making a change that allows pinnacle boss uniques to drop at any difficulty. Rarer uniques will be rarer at lower difficulties, but still possible to find.
Okay.
This applies to the drop charges for the reliquary keys from this content as well.
Got it.
We spoke about towers and tablets earlier, but we have also added a suite of unique tablets. Each of these adds crazy interactions to the maps influenced by it. For example,
Wow, okay.
this unique tablet allows you to run any map in a tower's radius without requiring connections, which can be quite useful for jumping gaps and traveling around your atlas.
Cool.
And this tablet causes all runic monsters spawned during expedition encounters to be duplicated, and weakens all expedition monsters that emerge from the ground.
And tell us there's buffs to expedition to make that exciting.
Atlas tree has also been expanded, and you can find many of the new mechanics there, and improvements to existing ones too. Now, through this live stream, we have mentioned quite a few new crafting options that we've added. New runes, corrupted essences, fractured mods, and jewelry crafting bases. But we did have just one more crafting system to talk about. Recombination. Expedition was the only in-game mechanic that was lacking a crafting system, so that needed to change. Recombination is a mechanic that might be familiar to some players.
And it's using expedition currency. There is the buff. It looks like expedition currency. Let's see.
It allows you to merge two items together, hoping to get the best elements of each on a single new item. This new crafting bench will be unlocked as you complete your first expedition.
Nice.
It requires artifacts found during expeditions to fuel it.
Woo!
The rarer the mods on the item you are combining, the more expensive the cost.
Okay.
That wraps up all the major in-game changes we're talking about
I love it, man. Recombinators, OPOP.
today. With all the system changes and new content, we can't wait to get in there, start blasting maps, and obliterating monsters. There is one more thing we wanted to clarify before we move on, which is that all the content we've talked about today will be made available in the existing early access leagues. so you can play your existing characters. However,
They're bringing it to standard. Boo! Who cares about standard? Play the league. Play the economy reset, people.
there will be new leagues made for those who wish to start in a fresh economy.
Fresh economy,
It
baby.
is recommended to start over and get the full new experience in the Dawn of the Hunt Leagues.
Hell yeah.
For all our existing early access players, we're really looking forward to joining you playing in this new update. For those who don't already have access and are interested in playing Path of Exile 2, Dawn of the Hunt, you are able to at any time purchase an early access supporter pack at www.pathofexile2.com. Additionally,
Those
the
look
Paladin
sweet.
and Penance supporter packs are now available to purchase in Path of Exile 2 and contain 6 microtransactions each and the full pack's face value in points.
Cool.
All the microtransactions contained within these packs are purely cosmetic and do not affect your character's power or progression in any way.
Yep.
Thank you so much for your ongoing support.
Holy, amazing. Those were bombs. This is so exciting. Amazing. I'm excited. The crafting stuff, dude. I think that might be my favorite part. The upgrade quality of life in the end game with the towers. That was so annoying. I love that update. Oh my gosh. All the new content, new character class, new ascendancies. It's going to take me a long time to comb through the new support gems and see what's good. Overall, this is just, they over-delivered, you know? I knew they would deliver. I got faith in GGG, and to some extent, I'm like expecting the over-delivery. Like, you know, every time they drop this type of stuff, I'm like, wow, I'm always blown away. And then the next one comes, and I'm like, can they do it again? Well, they did it again. I am super stoked for April 4th. Can't wait to play the new content, and I'm thrilled to do a deeper dive into the new stuff that just got released and check out the patch notes for sure. I want to see the balance changes. They didn't talk much about balance changes. There's going to be massive balance changes, so I'm looking forward to reading through the patch notes and see what's up with that, because they didn't really address game speed, you know, in the end game. They talked about the curve when you're ramping up a little bit and making it smoother. But yeah, I'm really curious to see if they tone down some of the OP builds. They have to have done that, but to what extent? That's what I'm real curious about. But overall, I'm just incredibly stoked. GGG, you did it again. This is amazing, especially for early access. I mean, it's out of this freaking world. There's not another game like this. The over delivery for the win. Thank you, Jonathan Rogers. Thank you, Mark. Thank you, GGG. Super excited to play this patch when it's released on April 4th. That being said, guys, this is Cyclone 9. I hope you enjoyed. This was the first time I watched the content reveal. I've been watching every little teaser leading up to it, so I was super excited and had some thoughts in my brain about what might already be in here. But there was tons of stuff I had no idea and great solutions to problems we've been seeing. So super cool. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. Cyclone 9 out.